Hello there guys and welcome back to Reborn with Michael. I am now today talking about instant manifestation. Now you will laugh because this has really tested my resolve, because actually I've tried to film this video 4 times and I've really spoken from the heart, and the recording equipment is going against me. Maybe they don't want to really let me share the truth with you, but instant manifestation. Why is manifestation always instant? We're going to go into it today, and I really believe deep down in my heart that this will be the only video that you really need to hear on this subject to kind of get the concepts that I'm trying to bring across to you here. If you like Spirituality Simplified, please consider like, sharing and subscribing. Also, join my free Facebook group and check me out on Instagram. I'm on there. So, is manifestation instant? Why is it always instant? What do I even mean by that? And this is not today meant to be anything about clickbait or do 4 affirmations, you're going to get it tomorrow. Do this, you're going to get it in a week. You know, it's like, actually, it's just, let's get down to the nitty gritty truths of the matter. Manifestation is an instantaneous act, because if we look at it from the concepts of Joe Dispenza, Neville Goddard, Joseph Murphy, 3 of my favorites, Abraham Hicks, it's that concept that once we have an idea or an image, or we use our imaginations, or we affirm something, whatever your technique is to claim that what you want, it already exists in some dimensional expression. Now that tends to be on a 4th or 5th dimensional expression, okay, where the divine mind lives. On the quantum level, as Joe Dispenza would call it. So once something is claimed, it exists. Now, the point being in then is that means that it's instantaneous, because there is no time or space in the 4th dimensional way of thinking, or on a quantum level. But then it's that collapsation into the 3-dimensional reality that we see it in. That's the point. Now, I watched a video the other day, and I'm going to go into a little bit of detail, a bit like they have as well, because she actually was very brilliant, and I will link her in the description here. And she was mentioning that manifestation is instantaneous because the bridge of incidences, as Neville Goddard would say, immediately come into effect, but we often cannot see what those bridge of incidences are. Now, I found her to be brilliant with that realization, so that's why I'm linking her in here and sharing her message too. But why am I making this video if I felt she expressed it so well? I felt she expressed it absolutely perfectly, but I like to add a little bit of other context into it as well. Yes, the bridge of incidences that need to happen do have to come into play here. But what we tend to do is we sometimes find those bridge of incidences unpleasant, because we haven't relaxed and trusted in the fact that our manifestation, as soon as it's claimed, is done. So we get bothered by the hows, whens and whys. So the bridge of incidences that are going to allow me to express wealth, health and harmony, they sometimes are going to push me towards something that's unpleasant. It's going to be unpleasant. It's going to do this. And you think, what? Why is it doing that? Because it's compelling you to take an action that is required, or to make a change internally inside your energy, even more so, that's required for you to be able to allow and accept that good. Because you see, if you think about it, guys, how many times have we read about lottery winners who won millions of dollars or pounds, and then they're bankrupt within 6 months, and they were not financially good before, but they weren't bankrupt, so they're in a worse position because they weren't emotionally ready. They weren't energetically ready for that level of receivership. So it went totally against what they were ready to handle. That's why those bridge of incidences come to help you to become the person that you need to be to allow it to be. Now, if we get very good, we need less incidences to allow it to happen. We can do it more on the internal level. And that's why I say to people, go to the feeling, go to the emotional reaction inside when you're facing the challenges that you face, and sit with it and let it go. You see, I'm going to tell you a story about how I do that. So I'm actually manifested moving to Spain. And I'm going to do a video about that soon, okay? But what I wanted to do was I wanted to manifest it in the right way. I wanted it to be what we needed, okay? So my point is this. We knew that we needed a villa. We wanted it to have a pool. We wanted it to have space for the children. We wanted it to have space for family to visit and things like that. And I know that's such a first world problem, yeah? I'm not saying it's a problem, but it's a manifestation. But what happened was we started to look, we started to put out there that what we needed, and all we got was rejection. But I had claimed it. I knew it was going to be, but I claimed it. And so what happened was the bridge of incidences that were coming up started to say, no, no, no. And it was testing whether I actually wanted it or not, I believe. Okay. So instead, I started to go to the within and I started to let go of any fears. And then I got inspired to message someone who I respected out there, who was a Spanish estate agent. I knew he did good work. So I said to him, hey, do you have anything? And he again said no. But if I do get anything, you'll be the first person I know. It was 3 days before we were going to go out there on a holiday, a working holiday. And I just started to let go. Started to breathe, didn't care. I said, if it's meant to be, we'll go look at some places. If not, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, does it? It will happen when it's meant to happen. That level of energy, then obviously whatever that test or that energetic place that I needed to get to be ready to accept, opened up. Because he messaged me saying, I've got a place. He said, I'm going to hold it for you. Then we said, that's great. Because he said, we can hold it until we get out there. We went to view. My children's reaction said it all. It was the perfect place. Before, in my old life, I would have pushed, forced, and tried to find somewhere. And this time, I didn't want to do that. Okay? So I was energetically ready to accept the manifestation. The point of this story is, and just to add actually something to that, the next step was, oh gosh, we've got pets too. Let's see if they accept pets, because that will answer it fully. Yes, we accept pets. Everything's done as it's needed to be done. Do you hear me? So my point being is that it existed when I claimed it on the fourth dimension, and it needed some time and space to express in the three-dimensional space. But the bridge of incidences, like she claimed, had to happen, but they were for my benefit. Now, here's the extra bit that I need to add on to you guys. If those bridge of incidences come up with the no's, and I started to get really taken in by that, I would have started to make a counterclaim against what I wanted, which was, this doesn't work, we shouldn't do this, this never happens for me. And then another bridge of incidences would have started to come, which led me away from that thing. This is my point to you guys. Yes, the steps that we need to take manifest in an instantaneous level, which she said so perfectly. But often what we do is that we then counterclaim against our affirmation or image. We counter it with a new image of disappointment because it's not here yet. What you do to be able to collapse space and time quickly or instantaneously, and I have seen it happen very quickly, is you have to let go of all resistance. You have to stop making a god of the three-dimensional world. That is the challenging part, and that's what I've been trying to teach people all these years. And I still face it, my friends. I face it. So I've become very good at manifestation because I often can manifest impediments and problems quickly too. You know, like all this moving and turmoil in the moving and doing all that. I've noticed some tension in my own experience. So what am I doing now? I'm working to let go of the tension inside of me. That's the only way that you can allow life to move quicker for you or get instantaneous results. Now, someone who is beautifully enlightened, who has no bother by the outside world, and that's not me. And you don't need to be to manifest, okay? But we do want to work at that 80% inner world, 20% the outer world's allowed to bother us. Then you get into this place of really beautiful alignment where your manifestations can seemingly happen in a moment. Now, I've noticed some pains in my own experience these last couple of weeks, like I said. But as soon as I let that go, as soon as I know, and I feel it here, I'm feeling it here, but I'm working with it, and I'll do a video on it in the coming weeks about what the solution was quickly. Why is there strife or trouble in your life? It's because you're not energetically aligned to that which you want. So that's our goal, is to keep working through all of that. Keep working through the energy. You will start to transcend three-dimensional space and time, and things will happen quicker. But manifestation is instant because it is created already, as soon as you imagine it. The incidences that need to happen to get you there will happen very quickly and immediately. But the realization of it does depend on your alignment, or whether you keep counteracting it with counter ideas. So we must learn to master our emotions so we can stay aligned to a vision long enough to see its fruition, regardless of whether we are knocked, hit or hurt by the three-dimensional space and time. I hope this video answered your question, guys. I will see you at the next one, and thank you.